E.N.D here. Now that Kamigawa Neon Dynasty finally returned to Kamigawa after nearly 20 years waiting is fully released, what we talk about. Definitely the next standard set, Streets of New Capenna. Nowadays we are getting used that when a set is released we tend not to care as much. Streets of New Capenna will be a totally new set. No return this time, and for the time being we don't know much about New Capenna, but what we know is that it was a city originally built by angels on a yet unknown plane, and currently is being run by 5 3-color demonic crime families. So here are my Streets of New Capenna predictions, but first, why not? Let's have a brief look at my Kamigawa Neon Dynasty predictions and let's see how I scored. Total score 55 out of 90. What I correctly predicted is that a current issue in Kamigawa Neon Dynasty will be the old versus the new. A new legendary land cycle, mecha robots, and the return of another praetor, Jingi Texas. I also partially predicted ninja, samurai, certain returning mechanics, and especially the return of Tezzeret, where I incorrectly predicted him as the new emperor. On the other hand, I wrongly predicted the spirit energy and the return of flip cards, where I must admit I took a gamble on it. Overall, not bad, therefore I think I deserve a small applause. Very hilarious, thanks. Anyway, let's not waste time and start. Intro please! First prediction, The Godfather and Al Capone. I always sustained that every Magic the Gathering set released, especially the most recent ones, are inspired. Just take a look at Strixhaven, inspired by Harry Potter, Adventures in the Forgotten Realms, inspired by the game Dungeons & Dragons, Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow, inspired by the legends of werewolves, vampires, and now also by Bram Stoker's Dracula. For Streets of New Capenna, I predict that this set will be inspired by The Godfather, a novel written by Mario Puzo, or I believe we are much more familiar with the motion picture by the master Francis Ford Coppola, and the real-life events of Alphonse Capone, or better known as Al Capone. Second prediction, Angels and Demons. I already stated that New Capenna is a city built by angels, but currently is being run by 5 demonic families. Therefore, demon creature type is a must, and I am also predicting that New Capenna will be the plane for demons as Tarkir is for dragons. But not only demons. If we delve into the origins of the city, a city built by angels, what I am further predicting is that angels will also have a very important part in the set. Maybe the angels want to regain back their city, or more plausible, a fallen angel. The fallen angel figure would be a good tie into the origin of the city and how they interact with the different crime families. Third prediction, Shards. New Capenna is currently run by 5 3-color demonic families. It seems quite likely that the 3-color faction will match the Elite or Shards from Shards of Alara colors. As per the Shards of Alara, each family will have a dominant color supported by another 2 enemy colors, and the 3 colors of each family will define their way of operation and dealing with the city. Bent. Having the color white dominant with green and blue, this faction might be a kind of police to keep the other families in check with their laws and order. As per having the color blue dominant with white and black, this faction would want to improve and won't mind sacrificing anything or anyone in order to do so. In addition, white provides a nice family structure where they all respect the hierarchy within. Jund, having the color red dominant with green and black. This faction will make the most chaos and carnage in New Capenna. The family will certainly consider themselves the best of the 5 and they won't stop at nothing. Naya, having the color green dominant with red and white. This faction could play a big role as it's something that all colors value, but not without having restraints or governance in reaching their goals. Also, this could be one of the most vengeful families out there, therefore you better watch out if you massacre one of their boys. And last, Grixis, having the color black dominant with red and blue. This faction could be more passionate from any previous ones and not caring about the rules at all. Nevertheless, they won't wreak too much havoc, especially compared with the Giant family, as that isn't something that blue would support. Fourth prediction, Triumphs or triple fetchable cycle lands. Some time ago, on the plane of Ikoria, Wizard of the Coast gave us the Triumphs, or as known by the triple fetchable cycle lands, a particular land cycle that taps for 3 colors. They can be fetched with fetch lands, and they had the cycle mechanic. The Ikoria land cycle had 5 lands, the Triumphs, and they are considered enemy colors or wedge. Because the 5 3-color demonic families could belong to the Shards color, I predict that Streets of New Capenna will have a new cycle of triple fetchable cycle lands, and this will be the perfect opportunity for Wizard of the Coast to close the Triumph cycle. Maybe this time, instead of Triumph, they will have a different name. Fifth prediction, Obnixilis, Elspeth and Ajani. Obnixilis will feature as a Planeswalker in Streets of New Capenna, and this has been already confirmed by the official art for the set. He is apparently involved in one of the crime families. What might be interesting is if Obnixilis will fit into one of the families completely and have a card in 3 colors. In that case, I predict black, red and green, a Giant Planeswalker card. But New Capenna is a city important to another Planeswalker, Elspeth Tirel. Elspeth Tirel has a special tie to the city, so it's very likely that she also appear in the set. She might even get a 3-color card and would be a perfect fit for green, white and blue, as she has spent some time on the banned shard in Alara. On the other hand, Ajani is a very old friend of Elspeth. Haven't seen Elspeth from the events of the first Theros block, therefore it will be a nice occasion to fight again in the aim to save New Capenna. Sixth prediction, the mechanics. Because we know that New Capenna is run by 5 demonic families, and we discussed the possibility that these families could belong to the Shards colors, I predict that Streets of New Capenna will have 5 different mechanics per family. Each mechanic or keyword will be distinctively related to that particular family colors. These mechanics will be both returning mechanics and also new mechanics, a mixture of both. I would also risk predicting that some of these mechanics can be found under the politics category, which in Commander games they are quite popular and fun, having players using their spells to help one another to defeat other players. 7th prediction, Gangster. Streets of New Capenna is the first Magic set inspired by modern urban gangster movies, focusing on gangs and organized crime. I am predicting that a new creature subtype will feature in this set, Gangster. Gangster would be a sub-creature type like Ninja or Warrior, therefore in Streets of New Capenna we'll get Demon Gangsters, Human Gangsters, Wizard Gangsters, Goblin Gangsters, etc, etc. Let's see if Wizard of the Coast will correct the Kaldheim Viking mistake, which in my opinion it was a pity not having Viking creatures. 8th prediction, Special Art Deco Noir Showcase. What is Art Deco? Art Deco is a popular design style of the 1920s and 30s, characterized especially by sleek geometry or abstract forms and by the use of man-made materials. For example, just take a look at the Chicago Board of Trade. New Capenna is described as an Art Deco Noir metropolis, therefore I'm predicting that for the set, certain cards will be available in a special Art Deco Noir showcase, which I believe it will be stunning. 9th prediction, more Phyrexians. Since Elspeth can feature on display, maybe some Phyrexians will be here as well. We already saw Vorilex running havoc and chaos on Kaldheim, and Jinkitexis completing his studies and completing Tamiyo on Kamigawa Neon Dynasty. Therefore, I'm predicting that in Streets of New Capenna there could be another Phyrexian Praetor, Eleshnor. Eleshnor would be probably interested to rule the destiny of New Capenna. 10th and last prediction, an offer he can't refuse. One, if not the most famous quote from the Godfather is,
"I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse."
No doubt that whenever we hear this quote, the first thing that pops in mind is Marlon Brando as the Godfather. Starting with Dungeons & Dragons and continuing with both Innistrad sets and Kamigawa Neon Dynasty, we had some card names with a particular reference. Some examples, the Dungeons & Dragons campaign cards. You see a pair of goblins, you find a cursed idol, just to mention a couple. And the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Mech Titan, a direct reference to all mecha and You Are Already Dead, a direct reference to the popular manga and anime Hokuto no Ken. Therefore, I predict that instead of New Capenna, there will be a card, maybe common, uncommon, rare, or why not, mythic, named I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. And the cherry on the cake would be a card named
Leave the gun. Take the cannoli.
It would be really cool. So these were my 10 predictions for Season of New Capenna. Leave me a comment below what are your predictions or wishes for this Art Deco Noir Gangster set, and as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.